Hi, I'm Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy, and I have the privilege of being up here at the magical kingdom of George Lucas, talking to the man himself. Thank you so much.
Well, it's great to be here.
This was an absolute joy for everyone involved to be able to do this. Everyone on staff knows just about everything you've done, almost verbatim. Your company was supportive from the start. Why are you guys so much nicer than everyone else? Why did you allow us to do this?
Well, I think ultimately we don't have to be mean. You know, we're not really that competitive. I came out of film school with a lot of friends, and we all helped each other. We helped each other in our careers, and we just never were competitive about anything. We were always competitive in a friendly way to say, you know, like playing cards or, you know, dunking baskets to say, okay, you're so smart, try this, you know. And so it's that kind of competition, not the, you know, you must be destroyed and you must fail so I can win and all that sort of thing.
How often do you watch your own movies? How often are you ever at home and you sit down and you say, let's just pop it in and see if there's anything I missed?
It doesn't really. I mean, usually it's flipping channels and it's on some, you know, cable.
Will you stop and watch it?
Cable movie. Sometimes I will.
Yeah.
You know, depends on what I'm doing. Other than that, I have to see them, you know, every 5 years or so for one reason or another. You know, some screening that somebody's having that I'm sort of.
Right.
But to be very honest with you, I love all the movies I've made. I love watching them. I've never grown tired of them, and thank goodness for that, because we call that the true curse of filmmaking, which is if you make movies, you're going to have to, whatever movie you make, you're going to have to watch it about 100 times.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the worst punishment of all.
Yeah, if there's ever a rerun of Family Guy on the air, I have to stop and watch it.
Well, our TiVo is completely filled up with Family Guy.
Oh, good.
We've got everything, I think every episode TiVo. We don't pay, you know, we don't buy those DVDs and things. We actually TiVo it and just, you know, run it every night.
George Lucas has a TiVo full of Family Guy, although he's never bought a DVD. All right. Well, I bought all the Star Wars DVDs, but
good.
whatever.
You could go out and buy them again.
Would you say you know all the Star Wars movies pretty much verbatim, like the fans?
Not really.
If I like hummed a piece of music, would you be able to tell me what
Where
part
in
of the movie? Yeah.
film?
Yeah.
That would be tough.
Really?
Yeah, but you can try.
Okay.
I recognize it, but I don't know where it goes.
That's Cloud City.
You're right. Very good.
Okay, how about this? Ba-run, ba-rum-pum, ba-run, tsh, ba-rum-pum, ba-
That's the big throne room at the end where they get the medals. No?
Ba-rum, ba-rum-pum. All right, you know what?
What is it?
That's the beginning of the snow battle in Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
That's good.
I think that
You know
was
what?
performance.
Yeah.
I don't think it had anything to do with the music.
God, I can't. I
haven't
can't
heard it
carry
played
tune.
that way before.
just from the throat. Well, that's good because that tells me that you have other interests that you.
Yes,
What do you do?
I move on to other things.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm doing the Clone Wars animated TV series. I've always wanted. I love television. I've had a great time in television, and I love animation. I've been doing animation for years, and it's combining those two things into something, and then being able to tell the story of the Clone Wars, which is sort of the missing link in the features of what actually happened during the Clone Wars, and explore new characters and have more fun, and do it in the style of sort of Episode 4, without the uber reality of the drama of the Skywalker family.
I know when people ask me what I do when I'm not working, because I'm sure you work much more than I do, but even so, I feel like it's 7 days a week, and I have no answer. What do you do to have fun? What do you do in your downtime?
Basically, I have 3 kids. That's basically whatever downtime I have.
Yeah.
And I've raised them by myself. The youngest one is now 14. The oldest one's 26. So I've been doing it for a long time.
Mm.
And I actually, you know, stopped directing when my daughter was born, and was basically retired for 15 years to raise my kids. In the end, whatever free time I have, that's what I do. I go to the movies. I love cars.
For a lot of us, Star Wars is sort of the definitive movie of our childhood and of our adulthood. If we're asked, you know, what's the greatest movie of all time, most of us will knee-jerk, Star Wars. Was there a movie when you were a kid that you found to be that to hold that sort of place?
Well, to be very honest with you, I didn't go to the movies that much when I was younger. I lived in a very small town, one movie theater. You mostly went, to chase girls or go on a date or something. So you didn't pay much attention to the movies. But the movies I remember are, Bridge on the River Kwai, Doctor Strangelove. Those are two of them that stick out on my hard day's night.
I remember reading a quote from you at one point that when you were asked why you chose to make this movie, you said, I've always wanted to see a movie like this, and no one's ever made it. And I figured if somebody did, then and did it well, everyone would try to copy it, and then I could sit back and relax and watch the copies.
That's basically what I do in those situations. It's not really about the copy part, but mostly it's that I come up with an idea for a movie and I just want to see it. And in the worst possible situations, I've had to make it myself. In the best of all possible situations, I've gotten Steven Spielberg to make it. So, but ultimately it's to enjoy the movie. And I think for all of my friends who are successful, all the same age, all went to school together, all had fun, the secret ingredient, which everybody's, well, why are you guys so successful? We all love movies. We aren't doing it to get rich. We never thought we were ever going to get rich or be successful or anybody would even like it. But we love movies, and we make the kind of movies that we love to see. Say, oh, I'd like to see that. And we have the advantage of being able to actually make the movie. And say, okay, well, it's not coming out, so let's just make it. Then we'll bring it out. And so that's really the fun of it. And mostly why I do it. And a lot of things I do, I just soon give the idea to somebody else and let them do it as do it myself.
When I was in college, I heard a story that you guys submitted the cut of Star Wars without any music, and they said, no, we don't like this. We want you to recut it. You went back, did nothing except score it, bring it back to the studio, and they said, this is great. This is exactly what we want. Is there any truth to that?
That's complete bullshit.
Right. All right.
Absolutely no truth
All right.
whatsoever.
I'm going to call my college roommate who claims to be your biggest fan.
The studio saw it with temp tracks.
Yeah.
They know, and they knew we were using Johnny Williams.
Yeah.
And so they kind of knew that it would, but it definitely jumped it about 4 times better than it was when we had temp music in there.
How did you get hooked up with John Williams? Was that?
I got hooked up with Johnny through Steve Spielberg, who had used him on Jaws. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm looking for somebody who could do a really traditional, old-fashioned Korngold score. The old guys.
Seahawk.
And he said, I know the one guy that can do it. He just did Jaws. He's perfect. And he said, Johnny Williams. And I said, isn't he a jazz pianist or something like that? He said, yeah, but he's really he's been trained as a classical composer, and he really knows it really well, and, he'll be great for you. So that's how I got to him. And once you team up with Johnny, you don't ever want to leave.
Yeah.
Because the music's fantastic.
One of the things that you can identify, obviously, early, mid-'70s film by is that they were very sparse and almost no music at times. Was that something that you set out to kind of restore?
Well, I don't know whether I set out to restore it, but I'm very much of a music guy. So all of my movies, everything I've ever done has been centered around music. They're like American Graffiti was written around music. I would listen to the songs, and then I would find the right song for the scene that I was thinking of, and then I'd write the scene around the song. And before that, when I was doing THX, we were sort of combining sound effects and music to combine a kind of a musical soundtrack that had to do with all of the sounds, including the dialogue being more treated like music and singing than like actual expository dialogue. So I've always been very focused on the music and the soundtrack, and I love it. And I just come out of that era of the 60s where music is everything.
Now, you mentioned THX 1138, which ends with a man alone in an apocalyptic sunset. And in Star Wars, we have that, of course, very, very memorable scene of Luke staring out at the 2 suns. Is there a significance, an artistic significance to that?
I guess the easiest way to say it is the sun represents being outside the box. Mm-hmm. The sunset or sunrise, depending on how you want to portray it, is the essence of change. Those people in the movies who are looking off to the horizon or running off to the horizon into the sunset are going from a life of inside the box that's very the same every day to the unknown. They're running off to either the black night where all the scary part is, or to a whole new dawn of a new day where they get a second chance.
You obviously run this vast, vast empire here. What is your leadership style? Are you more Darth Vader or Admiral Akbar?
Well, to be very honest with you, I don't do anything. I basically make movies. I'm not really one to run businesses. So I turn it over to other people, and then I kind of oversee it. I would say I'm the gentle giant. I don't get pissed off very often. I don't do a lot of hands-on stuff. I let everybody else do it, as opposed to movies where I'm sort of a micromanager.
Do you watch a lot of television? Is there anything that you respond to on TV, or is it all kind of?
The only thing I watch is Family Guy.
Oh God, I'm so glad I came up here.
Yeah, that and a bunch of old Jackass episodes. But
if there's one thing that you would like to be remembered for, one project that you have done or that you have yet to do, what would it be?
raising my kids.
There you go. That's a human being right there, folks.
It's a lot harder than making movies, let me tell you. Life begins at 40 because
Yeah.
you're either dead and you're on to a different life,
Yeah.
or you're so burned out you can't think about what you've been doing, and you sort of wander into a whole other vocation. You can be a traffic guard at some school or something.
But you managed to stick it out. You managed to avoid that.
Well, I built an edifice, and then I just stand aside, and I can fall asleep for weeks or months or years, and nobody notices.
Oh boy, that sounds good. George, thank you so much.
All right.
This was great.
Well, good luck.
All right.